What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. You can email us, PackersTotalAccess@gmail.com. You can text us 865-658-5824. Join alongside Tim live in Green Bay. We got Emilio in Tennessee back to talk some Packers this evening. And before we jump into it, let's give a quick shout out to the good folks, our sponsor this evening, the gang at Ticket King, the official ticket provider of Packer Fan Total Access Live. Wisconsin-based since 1992, specializing in Packers tickets. They're Wisconsin's largest ticket source. They've got offices next to Lambeau and in Milwaukee. Just click on the link in the video description. They'll send you to their website, theticketking.com, where you can register for free as a customer and go ahead and start shopping for your Packers tickets. Again, that's Ticket King, the official ticket provider of Packer Fan Total Access Live. So, gents, how we doing this evening? What's going on in your neck of the woods, as Al Roper once said?
Not much. I'm moving right along. Friday's coming, last day of mowing, and get to the weekend Packers game against the Cardinals. I'm pretty excited. A little football tonight. I'm ready, Clay.
Maybe a little live betting. We don't know. We'll see. We'll see if
you and that dabbling.
We'll see if something pops up. Tim, how you doing, Bubba?
Feeling like this guy right here, Another day, man.
Got 3 in the chamber ready to go.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Man, we've you know what? Since you're already talking about lung darts, let's jump right into it. Our boy Baz did it. He pulled the trigger. I quote tweeted Baz and said, it's only fitting that Baz was the one to pull the trigger on this idea. So for those of you on the pod that can't see this, he had completely photoshopped a Kraft mac and cheese box, and he puts Kraft yak and cheese. Of course, he's got Tucker throwing a stiff arm. It says original flavor, yakaroni and cheese sauce mix. And then at the very top, my favorite, it says stiff arm to the face included in the box.
That's perfect. The only thing that it could be different is the spirals are absolutely fire. But besides that, yeah, I love it.
I'll tell you, and Tucker Kraft's a fun one, man. I don't know if you guys seen this exchange earlier today, but Matt Schneidman had actually tweeted it out. He said Tucker Kraft wants to clarify that he wouldn't burn down the childhood homes down. He wouldn't burn the childhood homes down with the children in them. So
right.
He just wanted to clarify when he talks trash to the opponents. And he says, I used to say something like, I'm going to burn down their childhood home. Let's hear it from the man himself.
Not with children in it. Let's make sure that's not on the record. No, I mean, just I don't know, the game's fun. And when you get a chance to just say something like that and you get one of the highest paid people on their team to just turn around and look at you like, what did you just say? I just try to, I'm out there having fun and I'm playing loose. Yeah, sure, I'll say some crazy stuff, but it doesn't knock me off my game. It probably doesn't even get into the head of my opponent. They probably are just like, this guy's weird. But it was a fun podcast. Good opportunity, I guess, to get my personality out there, but I don't say that too often.
Don't say that too often. That's one you want to keep close to the vest. Save it for the right moment, right?
Right.
And I did see some comments in there too that people were going, "Oh man, the cancel culture got him," and this and that. So I don't think that was the case, but it is funny that he acknowledged it. Look at Bill Huber.
No. Honestly, the way I heard it was the dude asked the question, and it's like he was like, "Oh, I heard you on the podcast." Talking about burning a house down, and maybe children in them or something. I don't know how, and like joked it off. And I'm like, dude, you're putting words in Tucker's mouth. He never said that. Come on now. That's why you had to clarify it.
Yeah, we're going to give him some.
He should.
Thank you, Brett.
Oh, man. All right. So there you go. There's your Tucker Kraft update again. Kraft yak and cheese. And, of course, we hit spirals. And Tucker Kraft does clarify that there were no children harmed in the making of that funny comment the other day. Okay, everything's all good. Everybody calm down. We're good to go. So now we did have obviously the story of Romeo Doubs that just continues to, I don't want to say dominate the headlines, but everyone seems to have an opinion on it. And who? You were kind of hoping everything was behind us here with the whole Romeo thing. And then, of course, once the media met with the players in the locker room, we listened to it yesterday. I thought everybody was pretty supportive. Evidently, I completely whiffed on that opinion. Maybe you guys agree with me, maybe you don't. But everyone was talking about it today like, they're convinced that he didn't address the team. Now, no one came out and said he didn't address the team, but the way that LaFleur and Goody and the PR department had the players answer the questions about that would suggest that he didn't address the team. If he did address the team, they'd probably go, yeah, he did, and we'll keep that between us, right? But he didn't kind of answer it that way. He being Christian Watson, a couple other people. But I did put the poll question up, and this is all I said, guys. I said, how do you currently feel about the Romeo Doubs situation? The two options are it's behind us or there is something still brewing. Currently, it's behind us is leading 60-40. Thank God. I hope that is the case. And shout out to Josh Vallanningham gifting 5 Packer Fan Total Access memberships to 5 lucky viewers. Appreciate you, Josh. Thank you so much, buddy. And Chris N kind of hit on it here. He says Dobbs didn't address the team, and he skipped out on the media, skipping the locker room altogether after practice. Poopy ain't right is what Chris N says. Poopy ain't right. So let's go around the horn with it real quick. Are we concerned, guys? How do y'all feel about it? Do you there could be some embarrassment there. I still wouldn't rule out that Rome's got maybe something's potentially going on personally. I don't know. Right. But what do you guys think, man?
10 catches, 150 yards, and 2 tutters on Sunday for Rome. That's how I feel.
Put it on the ticker.
Put it on there. Tim, I love it. Yeah, I mean, I think that, like Clayton said, possibly something still going on there, but, maybe he is still a little tail tucked between the leg, doesn't want to address the elephant in the room right this second. Maybe do it on his own time or individually or something like that. And once he gets them all knocked out individually, say something to the team, as long as it doesn't go on for, another 2 weeks beyond this sort of thing, drawn out throughout the year, that would be the issue. I think if we can, have the week off, have a week, have him here, and by next week we're moving on. I think it's just talking point right now.
Yep. There you go. Anything else, Tim? You good on that?
No, I just feel like, we talked about this offline a little bit, like players are required to speak to the media, whatever the minimums are, if it's once a week or whatever it is. So, Rome not speaking to the media doesn't really surprise me. I'm sure we're going to get that at some point. And as far as, speaking to the team, like that's going to be handled in-house, right? Like we're going to know as much as the team's willing to let us know. So just because they're not saying anything doesn't mean it isn't happen. And doesn't mean that it clearly, like you saw Scoot talk today about it. Clearly the guys are on board and they support Rome. So, I mean, really that's where it should begin and end for us. If there was really a rift or some kind of issue, we'd know about it right now based on the demeanor of his teammates. And right now the coaching staff and his teammates are 100% behind him. I honestly think this fan base is making a bigger deal out of it than it needs to be at this point.
Yeah. I mean, that got me thinking, Tim, how long was it from Ja when he had his interview? I mean, he was gone for the week or the game or whatever, and then how many days after? Give the guy a couple days and, let him answer the questions as they are. But that's all everyone's just itching at is they're just waiting to just start drilling him with questions anyway. And, he's already quiet to begin with in his locker room interviews. And so it's not something that I'm sure he's looking forward to. So,
and I don't think we're going to get any new info.
Right.
Just like Ja's interview when he did do it. Hey, we had meetings. We're moving forward. It was productive. The ball rolls forward. We're focused on Sunday. I'm sure that's what Rome's going to say when he's interviewed. I don't think we're going to get, like some great TMZ scoop on the inside track of what's going on. I mean, like Coach LaFleur did from the beginning, right? We're going to keep this close to the chest. We handle family business with family. And if you're not in the building, then you're not privy to it. And, the rest of us are here to watch football and enjoy football. So I'm looking forward to seeing Romeo Doubs catching passes. That's where I'm leaving it at. I don't think we're going to get anything new, regardless of what happens with the media.
Yeah. Yeah. I see all sides. I really do. After listening to everyone today, it did kind of open me up a little bit. Like maybe I'm making too light of it. I don't know. Light of it in a sense of, hey, it's behind us. But as far as comparing it to Jair Alexander's situation, they said Ja addressed the team and said, hey, man, I screwed up. That's on me. If Romeo didn't address the team, I don't think the locker room personally, and look, I've never been in an NFL locker room, but I don't think those guys are walking around going, how dare he not address us? I don't think that's happening.
Right.
Listening to Mark Tauscher earlier, he seemed to think it would bother him. So who the hell am I to say, hey, a former NFL player is wrong for thinking that? Obviously, he's got more experience in the locker room culture than me, which is 0 minutes, 0 seconds, right? But Coach Steno did address it a little bit at the coordinator's press conference earlier today. Matt Schneidman tweeted out Adam Stenavich on Romeo Dobbs, quote, "We're a better team with him." And then Matt Schneidman went on to say that Stenavich on Dobbs said, "This whole week he's been a professional. There have been no warning signs." So sounds like it's probably behind him. Let's hope that's the case here. Chewy in the chat, good to see you, buddy, says Rome is not the most articulate person, even when he's talking football, something he clearly knows. How is he going to sound when he discussed his lack of coping strategies? Leave him be, I say. There you go. I think it's a good point, and it does bother me that I shouldn't even say this. It feels like his show's turning so negative. That's not what I want, but I can't BS y'all. It does bother me when the media comes from an angle of, well, we deserve to know. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, really? Are we
just like you guys want to know the game plan every single week and you're not going to get it.
All right. Josh Valanahan with another 5 memberships. Thank you, sir. You are the man. Really, really appreciate you. Greg Ross says, good teammate
appreciate it, Josh. You re-upped me. Thank you, sir. No, I'm back on there.
Just so everyone knows, if Emilio wins in the contest, he's not getting it right.
No, if I win, it's because I'm on Patreon. That's why.
The only one I'd be willing to give it to would be if Mrs. G wins a prize, I'm sending it to her. All right, I don't want that bad juju on me. She earned it for putting up with Tim. All right, we'll just all say that together. But Greg Rice in the chat said a good teammate supports his teammate, but I understand wanting to hear what Dobbs had to say and an apology if appropriate. If appropriate, I think I'm glad you put that in there, Greg.
Yeah.
For sure, man. Yeah, and Greg Rice did go on to say it's rigged, just like Emilio did. Unbelievable. But yeah, there you go. All right, so that's the Romeo Dobbs chatter of the day. Now let's get on to some more important news, in my opinion. Luke Musgrave, man, this kind of popped up as Easton Butler tweeted out the Packers are placing tight end Luke Musgrave on IR. Matt LaFleur hopes to have him back by the end of the year. Obviously, he's been battling an ankle. Adam Schefter tweeted out shortly after that, I guess a few hours after that, Packers are signing tight end John Fitzpatrick off the Falcons practice squad and onto their active roster per sources. Packers tight end Luke Musgrave has been dealing with an ankle injury. So obviously the big thing that this kind of triggers in my mind is what Paul Brettel said earlier today too. Musgrave's going to be sidelined for the time being, which means a heavier workload for Ben Sims, a role he is ready for. Quote, I want to give these coaches the trust in me and the ability to be able to call whatever they want, is what Ben Sims said. You can check out that story from Paul Brettel over at ESPNlacrosse.com. Link there on Paul's Twitter page at Paul_Brettel. You guys know how I feel about Ben Sims. I'm not trying to be mean to Luke Musgrave. You guys know I had a very high draft grade on him. I was excited about him getting drafted. I had him significantly higher than Tucker Kraft on my board, like most people did. But listen, if you see it, you got to say it. It's not panned out to this point, and Tucker Kraft is a much, much more equipped tight end to do what Matt LaFleur wants. Now, with that being said, is Ben Sims better than Musgrave? Natural talent and ability? No. But based off what I've seen on tape, I don't think that's a stretch to say that Ben Sims is playing better football than Musgrave. Now, here's the thing, too. Maybe Musgrave has been battling something too, right? For a long time. Maybe this isn't just something that popped up one week. Okay, now he's on IR. It might be something he's dealing with longer than we know. Because like Tim pointed out.
I think that's what they said in the interview with him is that yeah, he's been dealing with this for a while. It just shows how tough he is that he even, suited up to play,
Got it. So how do you guys feel about this Ben Sims being kind of, put into the offense in place of Luke Musgrave?
I love it. I think Ben Sims is Tuck Norris Jr. I see a lot in him that I like about Tucker Kraft. I feel like Ben Sims gets it done in pass pro and in the run blocking, and then he's also a guy that'll run out in the flat and catch a pass, turn up field for you in a pinch. Obviously Tucker's our best our best tight end. But I feel really good about Ben Sims, and we'll see what happens. With the new guy being added to the lineup here. But no, I'm confident. I'm confident in tight end number 2, and hopefully this is a good thing. Hopefully Musgrave can rehab on the IR, and we do get him back in time for the playoffs or something like that, because Luke Musgrave is an asset to this team. I don't care what anybody says. He's been a work in progress. Maybe hasn't quite met people's expectations out there on the field, but at the end of the day, you want the guy in the lineup. For the time being, though, I'll take Tuck Norris and Ben Sims all day as your tight ends. I'm happy with it.
How about you, Emilio?
Yeah, I think I second everything Tim said there. A duo that, he's proved himself for not just this year, but, in the offseason, he's worked hard. He knows the playbook kind of thing. And I appreciated his grind. You got to be able to do the dirty work, especially when you're second, third, fourth string tight end. He's the one holding the blocking dummy for Tucker in practice, all that stuff. So, a good teammate and, hard worker.
Definitely. Yeah, and Philip Rude in the chat says, did you all see Sims's pancake block?
Here's the guy.
If we see it, sir, right here it is. Asking you shall receive. All right. Ben Sims right over here playing tight end to the left. You're going to see Tucker Kraft motion over. I think Ben would technically be called the U tight end here. We're going to roll the tape here. Watch Ben Sims. What he's going to do, his blocking assignment's real simple. We're going to pull a guard who's going to seal the edge. Ben's going to completely ignore the edge. He's going to double down on this defensive end on his way to this backer. Watch him dig out this backer right here as he works that double team over. So you got a guard pulling. Tucker Kraft's going to do a cheat sift to help seal the edge as well. Again, watch number 89 on this play. As we're going to get vertical, we canned out. We're going to A-gap run right here. Inside zone is what it looked. Well, not inside zone, but obviously a power G look. So you see he's kind of going B. He's going to cut back to the A. You see Ben. He's already to the second level right here, right? Yep. Watch him plaster this backer. Get on the ground, boy. And look at him flex. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get it from the sideline cam to give you a little bit better angle. Again, he covers a little ground to get up here double and get to the backer. You see that RAS pop right here as he gets off the line. Watch how quick he goes, man. Bang, bang, finish.
My favorite part of the play was Jordan screaming at Tucker to get into motion. That was hilarious.
Let's go back to it one more time.
It's like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah, so right here, basically Jordan's going, he's giving the signal right now. Hey, Tuck, all right, let's get this cheat started. All right, well, he goes, can.
Right.
Now here it goes.
Can.
All right, cheat.
Hey, Tucker, come on.
Hey, what are you doing?
Come on.
Hilarious.
Oh.
Hey,
Tucker was saying, hold my beer. Hold on. Hold my beer.
Right.
Cool, calm, and collective, though, is Jordan Love, no doubt about it, man. And notice this. I don't want to geek out too much on technique, but watch Sims get low right there. He's underneath, right? Drive the legs, bang. Love it. You love to see it, boys.
Yep. He hit the sled that week, that's for sure.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I'm excited about it, man. I think he's going to play just fine. I really do. Ben Holden says, Robert Tonyan just released by the Vikings. No, sir. Don't want it. Now, who knows, though? He does know the offense.
We already got our 85. I'm good.
Yeah. He darn sure ain't coming here and getting that 85 back, right? Yeah. Like Greg Rice says, low man wins. Amen, sir. Amen. All right. Moving along here. So, Rob Domofsky tweeted this out earlier today at Packers practice. Just a little shot of.
Good to see Bobby Boy back on Twitter.
He made it back, Tim. He's back in the fold, man. My man was – God, that seemed like that was forever that he was out. And I really listened. I enjoyed following Rob Domofsky. I know some people have had issues for whatever reason. I don't know. But and it might have been warranted. I've never had any communication with him at all. I like the content he puts out. We probably wouldn't agree on most things, just like there's probably not two people on the face of the earth that agrees with everything I agree with. I'm a weirdo over here, right? So it is what it is. But
heard it from a fan right here.
Second, that was Mandy that hit that sound drop.
Yep.
Second straight day of practice for Christian Watson, although he said after yesterday's session that he didn't do any live team reps, only individual and group, period. So Christian Watson's back out there getting some work in, obviously, as you see Jordan Love there doing the high legs and Christian coming in a few players back. I kind of felt like Christian's going to play this week, but listening to people talk earlier today, just throughout the day, listening to various podcasts and live streams on YouTube. I'm kind of getting the vibe that people are going, nah, he's probably not going to be back this week. How do you guys feel about it? You think there's a chance that Christian plays?
I mean, possibility, but don't need to rush him back. I think that Bo's going to get a lot of opportunities to go against his brother, and I'd rather not rush it. It was an awkward bend. It really didn't look pretty. As long as he's all right, I mean, yeah, let it go, but no need to rush it. It's still week 5 going on 6.
Did you guys see the exchange with Christian Watson's dad on Twitter?
I didn't see it. I did remember hear Ryan talk about it.
So talking about the doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a doctor that he's a legit doctor. I've had conversations with him in the past. Actually, when I don't know how to say this and be tactful. When we found out what was wrong with Christian Watson's knee his rookie year, having a conversation with his mom here on this podcast, that doctor reached out to me and gave me details like, hey, it's probably this, with cartilage, here's what you're looking at, blah, blah, blah. Seemed like a nice guy. Of course, he didn't seem to think that it was actually Christian Watson's dad chatting with him on Twitter, and that got really awkward really quick. It's like, yeah, I think I would know. Basically, the doctor was doubling down, going, listen, I'm really accurate with this, and I know what I'm talking about, blah, blah. And Christian Watson's dad was like, Bub, I talked to him. That's my son. Kind of awkward, Tim. Do you think Christian's going to play this week, man? How do you feel about it?
I'm kind of with Emilio. I'd love to see him out there, but I think if we give him another week, I think that's a good thing. Based off of Rob Demoski's tweet here, no live team reps, just individual and kind of group drills. Clearly, they're kind of easing him back into, game speed type of reps. So if he's got to miss the game against Arizona, I'm okay with it. The following week against the Texans is going to be the biggest game of the year for us up to this point. So having Scoot back for that one would be great. And I say that because I feel good about, Romeo Doubs playing this weekend. And I think, like I said, I think Rome's going to have a hell of a game. He's going to, silence the haters and the doubters. So if there was a week for Christian to sit and get some extra rest and some extra rehab, I think it's this week. And I agree with Emilio. I think we see a lot of Bo Melton out there, and maybe packages for Malik Heath. And, we roll with what we have. I think Dobby coming back is going to make it easier on the Packers to make that decision to just go ahead and give Scoot another week. But I will say this, Christian Watson is tougher than anyone has ever given him credit for. And if that dude wants to go and he's cleared, I'm anticipating he plays. But I'm in Emilio's corner here. I think we should just give him one more week, honestly. With the depth we have in this receiver core, I think it's no problem. I think we can beat the Cardinals with the personnel we have. And we're going to need Scoot against the Texans for sure. So not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but, my gut's telling me he probably doesn't play this weekend.
It's all about that depth.
I do like this, too, that it gives Bo Melton a chance to play this week, and Bo will be going against his brother, Max.
Yep.
Kind of a cool story there to see how that's going to play out. Those guys are going to be ultra competitive, I guarantee it. What if Bo goes out there and absolutely ear holes his brother on a run block? Wouldn't it be great? I would love it, man.
They were saying they were kind of asking Matt Steno and about it, and Rich, that we might get him as a flyer gunner combo, and then maybe a little combo on offense, try to get them lined up against each other.
That'd be cool, man. That'd be really cool.
Yep.
Josh Vallanningham in the chat said, I know this is a stupid question, but what does the green dot mean? There are no stupid questions in here, Josh. The green dot's real simple. On each side of the ball, you get one player that's designated to wear the headset that can communicate with the coaching staff up till 15 seconds are left on the play clock. It's my understanding, unless that's changed, then the comms cut off. So whoever's wearing the green dot, they get a green dot on their helmet, and that'll determine, okay, they've got the headset in their helmet. That's what that means.
And that's one way, right? That's one-way communication. Like the coaches can talk to the player with the green dot, but there's the player can't get back to the coach, right?
That's a good question, man. I don't think so. Now, I've seen Rodgers talk to the sideline several times. I don't think he wanted them to hear it, though. It was usually him cussing somebody out on the sideline. So, I don't think they can communicate with the OC. I think it's just one way. Is that what you're thinking too, Emilio?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is just one way. But that's why they were talking with the Rams and Matt Stafford. Sean would be in his ear trying to tell him to do this, look at the safety, look at that. If you get him to play in early and they're up to the line by 20 seconds, you still got 5 seconds to chatter. So I think that's where that comes in. But yeah, no, Matt was saying like, get out of my ear, but I can't tell you that, right?
Right. Coach Lynn, this chat said, do we know anything about our new tight end? I haven't had a chance to look into that at all. You guys got any info on him at all, Emilio?
Yeah, he's
thick.
That's all you got.
Yeah. To add to that, I'm pretty sure I could have sworn Matt said he was from Georgia. They brought him in on a 30 visit a couple years ago. And then, just to kind of see where they're at then and where he's at now, work him out. But they're not sure if he can do that kind of move stuff. But again, we're not bringing the dude in to do everything right now. We just need another body. He's taking Ben Sims' role. So if we can find another Ben Sims on the street, then we'd be happy. We can work from it, from there.
Got it. There you go. United Bates in the chat said it is a one-way and gets cut off at 15 seconds on the play clock. So it is a one-way comms there. So appreciate it, Bates. You are the man, sir. Let's see here. Let's shift gears real quick. And another thing popped up on the injury report. We were talking about Christian Watson. This got tweeted out by Matt Schneidman. Tucker Kraft added to the latest injury report with a groin. So when we go through this injury report, and I'll go ahead and try to get the better, clearer version here. There we go. So Tucker Kraft was not listed Wednesday. He's now listed as limited. All right. Luke Musgrave obviously was limited Wednesday. Now he did not participate on Thursday. We know he's going to IR. As far as everyone else, nothing changed with Ja. He's still limited. Same with Zane Anderson, full participation. Same with Kenny Clark, Edgerrin Cooper, Jonathan Ford, Elton Jenkins, all limited as the day before. Full participation for Aaron Mosby again. Full participation for Zach Tom again. Limited for Carrington Valentine and Christian Watson. And, of course, Devontae Wyatt did not practice again. I think we all kind of understand that our boy Devontae Wyatt's not going to play. Now, listen, we heard Tucker Kraft at his locker. Seemed like he was really upbeat. I don't think that it's a scenario where Tucker Kraft doesn't play on Sunday. How do you guys feel about him? Do you agree with that, or do you think there's a chance he might miss?
Tim?
Go ahead, Emilio.
Well, I think he's playing hard for sure. Give him the red jacket. He's like
the red pants now.
Yeah,
right?
no, the just like from the replacements, Clay. Red means stop, like a street light, right? Exactly. Where no one's going to be hitting Tucker during the week. Let him ice it, whatever. Put him on the injury report because it came up. Maybe a little gamesmanship. Who knows? But I think he's going to play 100%. Then, if not, what are we going? 10 personnel? Just take the tight end off the field, or put Ben in there and run it. Then or you're asking the new guy to do a lot.
It's a good point, man. It's a really good point. Yeah, you'll probably. Obviously, you're not going to go to 12 much. That's for sure. Right. Yeah, and I guess obviously with Luke going to the IR, this might be more about Tucker Kraft's groin than it is Luke going to IR that they signed the new tight end. Right? It could be like, holy cow! All right, we're kind of up against it now. So, and that's the thing too. Like you can with the close split sets, you can accomplish the same thing you do with 12 or similar to what you do with 12 in 11. You put Christian Watson. You remember, I think it was last year, the year before, they put Christian Watson on the wing there several times.
Yep, shuffle him in, just squatting down or even standing up right behind the tackle kind of thing.
Yeah, what that does is you put him in a very, very similar spot as a U tight end, and the only difference is rather than a linebacker being matched up on a tight end, you got a corner matched up on Christian Watson. I got to be real with you. I think I would take Christian Watson blocking a cornerback over even Tucker Kraft trying to block a linebacker. That's just Christian Watson's that good at run blocking, in my opinion. So same thing with Tay Wicks. Obviously, we've seen that time and time again. On the Cardinals side of the ball, side here, Isaiah Adams, full participation. Beachum did not participate Wednesday. He's limited today. Evan Brown, limited both days. Christian Jones, full participation. Zay Jones, wide receiver, full participation, and then was limited today. He's got a hammy he's dealing with. Jesse Laquetta wasn't listed on Wednesday. He's listed as limited now. Same with Nichols, defensive lineman, got a finger injury. He's limited now. Matt Prater limited on both days. Darius Robinson, defensive lineman, limited on Wednesday, did not participate Thursday. And I don't know how many snaps he's got. We may be able to get to the PFF preview here shortly, and we'll kind of see if we can get a snap count for Darius Robinson if he pops up on there. Garrett Williams, cornerback with the groin, is out. And also, we had briefly mentioned there was an offensive lineman for the Cardinals that was going to miss. I did look that up earlier today. Let me pop it back up here. Where you at? PFF preview. Bang. Will Hernandez is who that was. He's grading out a 69.4. His positional WAR ranking is 9th. That's win over replacement, I believe.
He's the one that got hurt, right? You said?
Yes, sir. So he is out. He's on IR now. So,
I think it was Wes said that he was Aaron Jones's guard or tackle at UTEP. He was like, how do I remember that name? And that's just a fun little snippet.
Nice. I like it, man. I like it. All right. Anything else you guys want to hit on the injury report there? We good.
Yeah, if we're short a tight end, put Quay Walker at tight end.
Damn. Put Quay out there.
Put Quay out there, man.
Give him a shot.
Give him a shot.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of old school, Tim. I'd rather see TJ Slayton out there playing you. That's just I mean, could you imagine putting that big boy out there and then motioning him back to H-back, just giving him the rock like Refrigerator Perry? Let's go. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Hafley on Keyshawn Nixon. Kind of cool. Matt Schneidman tweeted out, Jeff Hafley says Keyshawn Nixon deserves more credit than he's been getting for everything he's been asked to do this season on defense. Hafley said Nixon is having a, quote, really good season. Don't tell that to the spreadsheet, guys, but you guys know we've been pretty vocal on here. We showed the the Xavier McKinney interception that we had last week. We showed how it was cover one man, right? McKinney was the post safety. Keyshawn done a great job playing outside leverage, funneling it to the inside, didn't let him get back on his pro route. McKinney cuts it off, gets the interception. That was all Keyshawn Nixon on that play. Great defensive play. Obviously, he's been very, very physical in the running game. I think Mandy just got home. You hear the dog? Y'all hear the dogs back there?
No.
You hear this?
You're
okay.
good.
Good deal. All right. Yeah, they're going nuts down there. Right? Either that or they found the ribeye on the counter and they're having a good time. That might be it too. So, but yeah. So when it comes to Keyshawn Nixon, I tend to agree with Coach Hafley. Man, is he playing great? No, but I think what he was asked to do, and I think what Haf was talking about there, Tim, was how he was asked to play the boundary, play outside, right, play wide last week, and I thought Keyshawn held his own. Man, I really did.
I agree. I mean, we talked about that, right? I was kind of a little shocked. I was like, oh boy, Keyshawn playing on the perimeter. Let's see what happens. And he looked pretty good. He even against Justin Jefferson, he gave up that touchdown, which was just a hell of a throw and a hell of a catch.
Right.
When Key had him covered, it is what it is. He wasn't burned on that play. And then we saw on Sunday, Keyshawn looked good on the boundary as well. Now, with Jair coming back into the fold, let's see what that means. I don't know if Key goes back to the slot and we go back to our old lineup here, or, do they keep Bullard in the slot, rotate Keyshawn in on the boundary? We've talked about Eric Stokes kind of being up and down with his play thus far this season. So, it's a lot to see, but I will tell you this. There's one thing Keyshawn has proven. It's that he can play corner. He's not putting up insane numbers or anything to get super excited about, but he's definitely not the liability that we may have thought he was at corner, both in the slot and on the boundary for that matter. So if anything, I'm more confident in Keyshawn this year than I was last year.
Yeah. And Hafley was kind of saying that, Tim, he was saying that he's been able to play corner inside and out, be physical, get up in the field, be able to blitz, all those things. And he's just not getting enough credit for it. For us to, he's, Hafley saying for us to ask him to play inside, play outside, learn that other position, know those calls coming in and out. That's the same thing with Javon Bullard and Evan Williams. They're pushing Bullard, giving him a new position to learn while Evan's back there at, free or post or whatever. But I think he has done absolutely all of that and then some for defense until it gets a little colder, the ball doesn't fly as far on kickoffs, and then we can have a little bit more fun with that. And then we won't even be, worried about previous week 1, 2, 3 defensive performances. If we get a, kick return for 50 yards to a touchdown, in week 15. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, Ben Holden says, "Happy birthday, Brett Favre, the GOAT. Happy birthday, Favre. Love
The
it, man.
kid from the kill.
Right.
Happy birthday, Brett Favre."
Yes,
I got some
sir.
advice for y'all. Take 2 weeks off, then quit.
If y'all would hit that like button for us, help boost the algae. Let's get this thing cranked in here. We got a bunch of people watching. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us here on this Thursday evening as the San Francisco 49ers are leading the Seattle Seahawks on the road 3-0 currently. Both of those, let's see, San Fran's 2-3 and Seattle is 3-2 currently. That's obviously a divisional matchup. Should be a pretty good ball game there. We're keeping a close eye, man. If Seattle has to punt right here on this 3rd and 2, Emilio, you're probably going to see that live betting jump to like a +7, +8. We're getting in that ballpark.
It's a little early, Clay. Not even halftime yet.
The roll is halftime, but man, once you see that +10, it's like that meme. Remember that meme, that dude behind the tree rubbing his hands together? When I start looking. So Damon Stewart said, considering the kick return has been non-existent, it's huge that he stepped up. Amen, man, because he – what are we paying him? Like on average, $6 million a year, something like that, right? So we were saying all that value was going to be in the kick return game, and until they change that rule to where they push that up to the 35 or even possibly the 40 with touchbacks, he's going to continue to be a non-factor. I mean, they're looking at Keyshawn back there and going, "Nope, ain't doing it. Let's put it through the uprights." That's exactly what they're doing every time. So
that's a great point because like he's providing value. He's showing that he has value on this team, whether that's in the slot or on the boundary or. Hell, put him at tailback. Let's run a little orbit motion with Keyshawn back there. Whatever we got to do. But
we haven't seen
that's a guy looking to contribute, right? They kind of took the return away from him, but I think we'll get one this year. We'll get one of those something that comes off the foot a little goofy, and Keyshawn will field one at the 2 or something and bring one out for us. We'll see it, but it's important to say that because a lot of us were upset. He's getting a lot of money. And we haven't seen a lot in the return game, but you guys got to look on the defense, right? We're seeing it in the slot and we're seeing it on the boundary. So shout out to K9 for sure.
Right.
Yeah, here's the other thing too. Keyshawn Nixon, if I'm looking at this correctly, according to Next Gen Stats, 4th in the team in tackles. So he has been a contributor there. He's got 12 stops. 12 stops. That's second best on the league, guys. And a stop, if I remember correctly, is 2 yards or less. I need to find the key here. To know for sure. So y'all don't quote me on that. If you want to Google it, you can do that for me. That'd be cool. But Keyshawn Nixon, second on the team in stops. We could pull up that tape if y'all want to. Look at it. He's got 5 hustle plays. Holy cow, look at this.
What's a hustle play? 20 yards away from the ball?
Hustle stops. He's leading the team with 5.
Here's the guy.
Oh, by the way, he also is 3rd on the team in sacks with 2.
Here's the guy.
That's really wild to think about. He's been targeted 27 times. He has given up 17 receptions. The passer rating when targeted 104.1, but like Half was talking about, he's been pretty effective in the running game for sure. Let's see here. Greg Rice says Stokes needs to sit for a bit, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm not overly impressed with Stokes personally. Maybe I'm too hard on him. How do you guys feel about that? If everybody was healthy in the cornerback room, what would you guys want the cornerbacks to look like? Who would play on the outside? Who would be your slot corner? I know we're kind of doing this on the fly, but how do you guys feel about that? Who would be your 3 corners that you would start?
The issue, Tim, is where or who we're playing and what their scheme is. Are they a 12 personnel team? Are they a 13 personnel team? Are they a 10 personnel team? I think that's where we need to to approach it. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's situationally, right? It's week to week. This is a week-to-week league. Who are the best 3 for that week? I don't know. It's tough. Stokes, I'm still on the fence with. This is a guy we've been really pulling for, right? Like these last couple of years, him fighting through the injury bug, and he had a stellar rookie season and has kind of been, up and down since then, more down than up. And this year he's been consistently inconsistent, I guess would be the word. Sometimes he looks great. Sometimes he doesn't look so hot. But, you look at the personnel we have. I mean, maybe it is time to free up an extra corner by putting, Javon Bullard in the slot, especially with, Evan Williams kind of coming on strong here in the safety room, which frees up a guy like Keyshawn to, play on the boundary with Jair possibly. Maybe that moves Stokes into a second, or third position on the depth chart, and you rotate that way. But it's all going to depend on the matchups. Obviously, we're going against Mr. Xbox himself, Kyler Murray, this weekend. So, I don't know what type of game plan do you put together for a guy that can, sling the ball, but also beat you with his feet, So
Right.
maybe Bullard in the slot in this one is not a bad idea, right? It gives us a little more depth at the cornerback position. But I mean, I you guys know I'm a Carrington Valentine fan. I've always liked him, but that's a guy who clearly needs to be more consistent and step up in a big way. It was great to see him make a mistake last Sunday and then immediately, redeem himself on that 2-point conversion. That was pretty cool.
Yep.
So I'm not selling on Valentine just yet. I like him. I like Ja, that. And I like Eric Stokes Jr. I just think these guys need to step up, but it's tough to pick, 3 that you can really go with, but I definitely think Keyshawn needs to be in that conversation, whether it's
Right.
slot or boundary at this point.
And to that point, I mean, Greg Rice said Stoke needs to sit for a bit, in my opinion. And like Tim was saying, Valentine kind of needs to step it up. I think the only way to get Keyshawn and Bullard on the field would be to put Key over at the outside, put Bullard at the slot, and then Evan at the nickel or Evan at safety. But then you take off Valentine and Stokes. And I mean, I know that they haven't been perfect this year or anything like that, but that's something tough that you got to do. I'm more happy that we have the depth and that we can have the rotation. So if guys are gassed, they don't need to stay out there the whole time or things like that. If you get banged up, we can rotate them. But I'm happy that with the young talent we have, we can cover those areas.
And it's funny you guys brought it up and said, hey, it really depends on scheme, because Jeff Hafley kind of made a comment like this earlier today. And I apologize for the X user in here. There's nothing I can do, guys. Using StreamYard, I can't ban them or anything.
I don't think they can see him then. Never mind.
Okay.
It would just be people on X that are.
All right, good deal.
Yeah.
Good deal. They still haven't integrated everything completely, so we get spam. We try to block them and remove them, but we can't do anything about that one. But here was Coach Hafley talking about how the Packers may mix and match safeties, Javon Bullard and Evan Williams, depending on their opponent, and how they want to build the game plan each week. As a matter of fact, this is such an important comment. Let's go ahead and catch that on the other side. For those of you listening on the pod, we'll see you on the other side for hour 2. I apologize. We got right up against the gun there. We'll see you shortly. Appreciate y'all.
For those of you listening on the pod.
Good save.
That's perfect. All right, so here's Coach Hafley. Obviously, welcome back, guys, on the pod. Defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley talking about just maybe mixing and matching when it comes to the safety position in Javon Bullard and Evan Williams.
You mentioned the bigger role for Evan. One of the byproducts of that is obviously having both him and Javon on the field together. When Jair returns, whether it's this week or some other week, you're going to have a decision to make. Have they kind of implemented themselves to the point where they both got to stay on the field?
Yeah, I think that's a great problem to have. And Ja comes back. Hopefully we'll get Ja back soon. And once he does, we'll have to figure out who we're playing, who our opponent is, what receivers we're playing against. Can there be different packages in the game? We call the package that Bull was in one thing, and he knows to come out in the field in that spot. And when he goes to the safety position, we call it something else, and he goes to the safety spot, and Keyshawn was going into the nickel spot, right? And this week we have some other things possibly up where we say this, and guys are in different spots. I think it's our job to, if they're playing well, to find roles for them and make sure that they're on the field. But what unit gives us the best chance to win that particular game? I think it's very nice to have options. And the more guys that are healthier, the more competition we have, the better we'll get, the better they'll get. And we'll play better defense as we continue to go. But having those guys on the field and having their versatility where they can kind of switch around positions, I think it's huge.
You heard it from a coach right here.
Hey, the one thing that sticks out to me about Coach Haff more than anything, could care less about stats. Like he was getting so much harassment, just constant questions on the pass rush, questions on the pass rush. It's like, I'm going to do whatever. I could care less about yards. We're going to do what we need to do to win the ball game, right? And that's exactly what he's saying there. He's got knuckleheads like me going, Evan Williams needs to be starting. And rather than going, yeah, you know what, let's start him, he's going, we'll look at the matchups. We'll see what makes sense here, right? And we've actually got some tape on both those guys that I'll show you guys. It's really exciting. But, yeah, what's your all's take on that as far as what he said, mixing and matching? I mean, I kind of feel like that's what y'all were just talking about.
Yeah.
But
I think that's going to be key moving forward for the rest of the year. I think if we have that option that we can put a physical guy that wants to come downhill up at the line of scrimmage, if we watch the Cardinals and they run a lot of 3 safety, or they have that variation of the 3 safety and come down into 2, or can man up any of those things. Maybe we like a couple of those looks that get sprinkled in. Then maybe that's another way you take one of the backers out. Then you got to take Coop off the field, or McDuffie or somebody like that, and get another spot for a DB. But it's the tweener that we wanted, Tree Carpenter to be and all that stuff. If we can have Bull play down there and be a good coverage guy and all those things, I think that's 100% a blessing.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I still think Evan Williams is capable of playing in the box too. If we need to. That guy's a thumper when he needs to be. So this is a good problem to have, right? We talked about the depth. We talked about Gangster Goody doing the G thing in the draft and retooling this safety room in basically one season, completely flipped the safety room. And we're seeing it right now. And, Coach Half has got a lot of weapons at his disposal, and it's just about finding the right matchups week to week, really. It really is.
Yep.
Yeah, no doubt. So what you got here on the screen are going to be Javon Buller's run stops, okay? I think he's got – what was the number he had? Obviously, he's played a lot more snaps than Evan Williams, but these are going to be stops. And let's see where he's at here real quick. I'm going to give you the proper number, the accurate number, I should say, because he had quite a few. Actually had 6, I believe. So here are some of his run stops. And this is what Bull does well. He's not horrible in coverage, but this is definitely his strength. Let's watch it here. You'll see he's safety over here, right? Kind of comes down the box. Look at this. No hesitation, making the play.
Shot the gap.
Yeah.
Chased him down.
That is my man's – that's his superpower. All right, let's watch actually, let's go back here. This is Eagles game. Again, playing left safety, okay? Watch how he closes on this. Watch him. No hesitation. Getting in there and making a play.
Wow.
Right. That's what he does well. Let's see. Here he is on Saquon Barkley. Going to close pretty quick as well. Actually, this is the same play. Just doing that thing.
It feels like he has that explosion that like Coop has when he's coming downhill too. Like they both had that same type of, I made the decision, I'm coming fast.
Yep, yeah. I love it. I think this will be useful too. I mean, I've been watching some tape on the Cardinals, and some of that pre-snap sugar we saw last week against the Rams. Showing cover 2 and then rotating to like cover 1 or something. I mean, using Bullard in that way against Kyler Murray. I mean, we've seen it here. Look, we're looking against the Eagles. Jalen Hurts, real similar, a guy that's can do it with his arm and can do it with his legs. That's what we're going to be facing Sunday with Kyler Murray and the Cardinals.
Yeah, it's a good point. And again, man, Bullard has looked really good against the run. There's no two ways about it. We showed you the -2 already. Here he is off left guard. Aaron Jones off left guard. So going to be a run to the left. I think that's him mugging the box there. Is that right? No, right here. Bang. Look at him fill that gap. I mean, he's sticking his nose in there, dude. No doubt about it. I think that was him and maybe Rashawn Gary on that play. Again, watch him come in here and fill this gap. No wasted motion.
Yep. Not afraid of contact, not afraid to engage.
Yeah,
you don't see him miss a tackle very often. I mean, if he gets contact, he's wrapping up. He's
right.
He's
not
down.
Throwing the shoulder and diving away in the corner. He's gonna put 1-2 arms on you.
Yep.
Yep. Beautiful.
So again, if the game plan suggests you need a spur safety down there in the box and shooting gaps, Bullard's probably your guy, right? I mean, that's what he does really well. Again, right here, watch him shoot this gap, get skinny in the hole, bang.
So athletic, man.
And every one of those plays, they look very similar, man. They're very similar in that regard. Let's watch the box cam here, the end zone, I should say. Let's find him. So where is Bull on this play? Must be off screen. So let's see if they actually run to the right here. That's a short pass, actually. I don't know how that got mixed in there, but you're going to see Bull come over. Bang.
Ooh.
Got him ribs too, right? Love to see it. So some people are going, okay, cool. So that's what Bullard does well. So Evan Williams is better in coverage. Yes, the stats would suggest that Evan Williams is a much better cover safety. Evan Williams is basically second in the team with passer rating when targeted at 49.3. Javon Bullard is 10th at 80.9. Okay. But that doesn't mean that our boy Evan Williams can't play the run, right? I'm going to show you what I mean by that because, listen, it was a very small sample size. We had 3 run stops, but you get all 3 of those in one game against the Rams. You're going to see a guy. Here's a guy that looks very, very similar to what you just seen with Javon Bullard. So let's find Evan Williams over
here. And this
here.
is the most snaps that he's had all year too, right? He was in there for every snap. So obviously you get a couple of chances, and I'm glad that he capitalized on them.
Definitely. You see here he's kind of playing spur. You're going to come down here in the box and watch him. Just straight attack, right? Look at him fighting through 2 blocks. Did you see that? Watch him come through these 2 blocks right here, man. So you're going to see him fire down. Watch how quickly he recognizes, knows the gap, bang, bang, in there to make the tackle.
Yep.
So we're talking about getting to that next level, finishing the play. We didn't see that with a lot of guys last year. We're seeing it this year consistently.
Correct. All right, let's find. Now look at this, man. He came from a deep safety, deep half here. He was sugar and shell, or he was sugar and he was going to be the post safety. Then you're going to see Xavier McKinney bail out. Look at this, no hesitation. Watch him come downhill. Bang, right in the gap.
That's that X factor, man. That's that X factor. You can be confident in situations like this when 29's your deep responsibility, right? Just let them loose. Let them loose. Why play with hesitation, right? If they're going to fire them, let's go. And let X go ahead and patrol that secondary and, get another pick like he does every week.
So here he is again. It's a little bit better angle. Watch him. Just no hesitation, man. Get in there and get a hand on him.
Just lays out for it, too. Throws the body in there, no problem.
Yeah, yep. So that's what you're
getting. Coverage is definitely his strong suit, but don't sleep on his ability to pressure and tackle in the open field.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Let's hit these comments real quick. Put Stokes to the test this week against Harrison Jr. Lord have
from
mercy.
A fan right here.
Take that around the horn real quick because I think, Emilio, the time has come. We're going Seattle plus 11.5, sir. It's early. We're jumping.
Stokes on Harrison Jr.
How dare you?
You know what? If it's not like he can't play with the talent, Georgia to Ohio State there, but I don't know. I think I'd let Stokes have the first chop at it. If Ja's not out there, we'll keep Key and Stokes on the edge and probably play Bull in the slot. I wouldn't be opposed with having Stokes on there first.
It's hilarious that Reef says, put Stokes to the test this week against Harrison Jr. And then Professor Cake says, please, God, do not put Stokes on Harrison Jr. That pretty much sums up Packer fandom here in 2020.
I would hate that it would be his breakout game if that's the case.
I'll give you one. Don't put anyone on Harrison Jr. Play zone coverage all day long, please.
Hey, listen. You're going to get no complaint from this guy, right?
That also probably helped pay attention to the quarterback, eyes on the ball kind of thing, so we don't let him scramble all over us at the same time.
Exactly. I've heard a lot of people talking about, man, the pass rush has got to get home. We got to pressure Kyler Murray. I'm like, man, you better be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, let him scramble right out the backside on you and watch how that works.
Yeah.
And Tim, you weren't here last night, but we covered the pass rush pretty extensively, and there are some people that are upset right now because the Packers all of a sudden are 7th in sacks, 5th in pressures, I think is what it was, or 5th in sacks, 7th in pressures, and they're only blitzing. They're blitzing the third least amount in the league right now, like 19%. So,
and people are upset.
Oh, of course, because they've already stood on that hill.
To my next point, don't smoke crack.
See, they all those tweets are out there of them talking about how bad this pass rush is. And then all of a sudden you look up and go, oh, we're top 5? Huh. Yeah. Let me and then I was telling Emilio last night, and then the argument shifted to, but take that Titans game. Oh, all right. Cool.
Pressure.
Like Emilio said, it sounded like Bear fans. Remember when they were doing that? Justin Fields has been dominant weeks 1 through 4. In weeks 13 and 16.
Yeah, exactly.
What the hell are we doing? What are we doing right now? So, Let's go to Coach Half for this since we're talking pass rush. That was a pretty good segue. Look at us being professional now. He was asked what he thought about the pass rush there against the LA Rams and was specifically asked about Edgerrin Cooper. Here we go.
Did you feel any better about the pass rush this last week? And I know we've asked you about this before, but Cooper seems like he brings some juice to that part of the game.
Yeah, Coop brings a lot of juice. If you guys saw him rush we had the one where we knocked him out of field goal range, right? Kind of came around and had a big play there. And then at the end of the game, we kind of had a different pressure where he wrapped around, and he's another part. You get two rookies in that situation on a 4th and 5 against Stafford at the end of a game, the 2-minute drive. One affected him throwing the ball quicker. He sped him up along with the rush. I mean, it wasn't just Cooper either. And then Evan obviously made the play. I thought there were times we got real good pressure on him. He gets rid of the ball extremely quick. And I think if you look, he threw the ball, 45 to 50 times. There was a lot of quick here, quick there, quick here, quick there. I mean, he sees it really well, and he was getting rid of the ball pretty quick. But I thought we hit him, and I thought we pressured him. So I thought for the most part we did a pretty good job. He's a great player.
All right, so there you go. Obviously, Edgerrin Cooper's starting to turn heads now, man. I'm excited about it. I really am. I think he's a player that he still looks raw. Like there was a couple times in pass coverage, you could tell he's very uncomfortable. But when you got him just attacking the line of scrimmage, boys, he's I can't think of any more that you could ask of him and how he's ran those straight blitzes. I mean, it to me it was probably the highlight of Chalk Talk this week. But what do you guys think what do you guys think about what Half said with the pass rush? Anything y'all want to add there?
Just that, I mean, we can scheme them up, but again, we can't rush way too far upfield. We got to keep our lanes. It's got to be smart pass rush, because at the end of the day, Halfley's just scheming it to win the game. We're not scheming it so that one individual can get 35 sacks this year or something like that. The pressures will come. The coverage will tighten up. Then the sacks will come. All those things. Let's get ourselves with a little bit of a lead, and we can let the pass rushers tee off. Look what happened in the Tennessee game. You know what I mean? So, like, how many times have we been in that situation where we can not only have to play the run, 50-50 or, a read option, having to play the running back and the quarterback, play the give, also keep contained. There's going to be a lot of people put in, isolated situations this week. They got to perform. So if, Coop is overexcited and misses a play, that could happen here and there, but you got to have him on the field because he's going, 1,000% and bringing the heat. So,
yep.
That's going to happen. But
going back to camp, we talked about, as much crap as we've given Quay this year. I noticed very early that him and Edgerrin Cooper are thick as thieves, man. Everywhere Quay goes, Coops goes, and vice versa. And, we know what Quay's strong suit is, right? He's a hell of a coverage linebacker in the pass game. And if that's something that Cooper is still developing as a part of his game to kind of, make him a more well-rounded linebacker, playing next to Quay is going to give him that experience. And these guys are picking each other up. And, I think we've consistently seen more reps from Cooper week to week. Hopefully he cracks 30 snaps this week and continues to get more reps and experience. But I'm with you, Emilio. I feel like we're a better team with Edgerrin Cooper out there on the field. So
right.
We got to see it.
And if there's anyone out there that's going, yeah, is Kyler Murray really that good at scrambling, right? Is he that dynamic player? This year against the 49ers, 50 yards. He was clocked at over 20 miles an hour on this run as a quarterback. Let's watch it here. So here's what he can do. Here's a guy. Unfortunately, here's a guy. Why does it look dark like that? What is going on right now? What is this? Don't you let me down now, NFL Pro.
Are you running this off of Kyler Murray's Xbox? Or?
Oh, no, it's not double XP weekend. But look, read option, power play, tight end pulling.
He put his hand up at the 40. Go back and rewind that. My man puts his finger to this guy, knows he's scoring at the 40.
Right. And this is against Fred Warner and the boys. This is like top tier defense.
This is what I'm talking about. You run the read option here. We're going to fake the give right. And as he does that, Bosa crashes. Who's the read man on the quarterback? Maybe that corner or that safety that came down. You get one blocker in front of him, it's over.
This is what I'm noticing too. Watch how he crashes. And I don't know what is going on with this, man. This is driving me crazy already. So he crashes in, right? Goes to the running back. Like you said, collar pointing, man. That was just hilarious.
I'm taking it to I already know from the 40 in, I'm taking it to the house.
So what we're talking about here with the crash too, probably shouldn't do this again. You're going to notice up here, you're going to see a defender crashing and hit the running back, right? And that pistol set that we're talking about is really becoming really, really popular, right? So let's watch it one more time. You're going to see the defensive end crashes in on the running back on the read option, the zone read, whatever you want to call it. Tight end's pulling, so you got a power bang. That was Bosa. And look at my man. He is off with the lollipop guild. You know what I'm saying? That man
huge
right
block
there.
by 84 there.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's the stuff you got to watch for when it comes to Kyler Murray. Now, listen, that was a design run, obviously, right? It wasn't like it was something where he was scrambling. I'm sure there's scrambling plays in there. His rushing stats on the year, he's got 23 attempts for 247 yards. If you do the math there, 10.7 yards per carry is what he's averaging. And he's got that touchdown. His rushing yards over expected is plus 89. So he's running the ball as well as he ever has. Now, as far as passing, 94 of 132, 972 yards passing, 7 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions, got a rating of 99.1. 7 yards per attempt, completion percentage is 68.1. My man is playing good football. There's no two ways about it. No two ways about it. So what you got to do as a defense is you've got to go in there and go, okay, what are their top 3 concepts that they're running in the passing game, right? We've seen the zone read. How are we going to attack the mesh point? That's the number one way to be able to defend the zone read. Now, out of the pistol, it makes things way more difficult. But I'd be looking to get we were kind of concerned about Justin Fields last year. And the one guy that I felt like neutralized Justin Fields, especially in week 1, is LVN.
Mm-hmm.
When I try to put LVN, play the tendency game. Okay, if LVN's into the game, do they like to run zone read right or left when they're in the pistol, right? So which is the predominant? All right, let's make sure LVN's on that side because LVN will be able to run him down. And he's got the wingspan to really close that gap up, close that space up on someone who's as quick as Kyler Murray. So we'll see, though, man. Again, this is why you draft people like Quay and Cooper, right? Linebackers that are extremely fast that you can spy the quarterback with. So look for some mug, that little double A gap mug, a little double barrel touch spy, right? Get back and take care of the rush lanes. Don't be surprised if they really hold back this week on some of the pass rush like we've seen against Philly and like we've seen in week 2 against the Colts. I know people don't want to hear that, but you heard half's out to win games. He can care less about the rushing yards. So
I'm with Reef here in the chat. We got Williams, Quay, Cooper, Bullard. I dare Murray.
I dare him.
Dare him.
I love it, man. All right. Anything else in the chat we need to hit on? We're pretty much show. Oh, here we go. Dan in the chat says rain forecast throughout the game Sunday. Run the ball. Oh, that's really interesting there. Really interesting. This is going to be silly, but, Kyler Murray is a shorter guy. That's one of the knocks coming out of college. He was extremely dynamic. Emilio, how difficult would it be for you to look up Kyler Murray's hand size right now and how it may track?
Find that out for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, get a side-by-side comparison to an Xbox controller. We want to, for scale, we want to.
Oh, my God.
I'm terrible. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. I immediately do I need to look up,
looks like its hand size is 9.5 inches.
All right.
5'10", 1/8, 5'10" and 1/8, 207 was his combine measure.
You heard it from a fan right here.
So you said his hand size was 9.5. Is that right?
9.5.
Okay. Let's to put
I
that in
just looked up
perspective.
Dan's comment too here. 52 degrees for a high and like a 75% chance of rain all day Sunday.
That's big.
So,
that's big for
a little
a
chipper
dome.
and rainy out there.
A dome fast team that's big. A sloppy, not sloppy, but wet, nasty sort of game weather temps type thing. That's big for us.
Josh Jacobs, we're calling on you, brother. Give him the ball.
Sir. Yes, sir. To put that in perspective as far as hand size, the reason we're mentioning this because when you play in the rain, it's huge. Jordan Love's hand size is 10.5 inches. So you're like, okay, a full inch there. Like that's going to be a problem for him to grip the ball a little bit. Patrick Mahomes, though, only 9.25. doesn't bother him at all, does it? So
Right.
take it for what it's worth there. Now, you mentioned Josh Jacobs, Tim. I'm glad you did because my man, he's on one right now. I don't think people realize just how good of a season Josh Jacobs is having. If we could drop that comment down real quick. Bang. So rush stat leader, this is according to BetUS. Derrick Henry, 572 rushing yards. Jordan Mason of the Niners, 536. Saquon Barkley of the Eagles, 435. And in fourth place in the entire National Football League is Josh Jacobs at 402 rushing yards.
Here's a guy.
So Josh Jacobs is coming to play. Now, check this out. This got me really excited. PFF said Josh Jacobs is set to excel after contact against the Cardinals defense. Jacobs has 304 rushing yards after contact this season, ranking third among running backs. The Arizona defense ranks 29th in yards after contact allowed to running backs, setting up a favorable matchup for Jacobs. So let's do that again. Jacobs is third in the league, yards after contact.
Right.
The Cardinals defense is 29th in yards after contact. And there's a 75% chance of rain at Lambeau. I don't know what his over-under is on underdogs or wherever you like to gamble away your hard-earned money and lose it, but you might want to look at the over on Josh Jacobs' yards. Just take a peek.
Please, Matt, please don't throw the ball on first down. Please.
Right. And if they come out in that three
football,
that's exactly what he'll do too.
If they come out in that three safety look, Clay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just you're begging. You are absolutely begging to run the ball. If you can't, then we become one dimensional, and that's a bigger problem.
Yeah. And watch Love come out too and throw for 425 yards and make me look like an absolute idiot. that's what'll happen.
Or we come out running and we're successful, and then by the end of the first quarter we don't run the ball anymore.
Right. Exactly.
Par for the course.
I know this.
Par for the course.
If they decide to not run the ball, I'm not too concerned because our boy Xavier McKinney has been an elite free agent signing for the Packers according to PFF, 90.8 PFF grade. I don't know if you guys know if that's good or not, but that's first among all defensive backs, not just safeties, all defensive backs, right? He is leading the league with 5 interceptions and has 0 touchdowns allowed in coverage. X is the leader of this defense, no doubt about it, man. That dude is a instant captain of this defense. So excited to have him on the team, man. Let's talk about coverages through week 5. We talk about this every week. What are the Packers running defensively? 32% of the time they're running cover 3 zone. All right. Second is cover 1 man at 23%. Third would be cover 2 zone at 16%. Then you would have cover 6, which is half 4, half 2 zone at 12%. Cover 4 zone at 10%. And then cover 0 1% of the time. They haven't even cracked the 1% mark in cover 2 man. So essentially what you've got here with these numbers are 32, 42, 54, 60% of the time they're in zone defense. So does that surprise you guys on the surface with what the Packers are doing? And oh, by the way, their EPA per drop back in the passing game, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13th in the league right now. That seems to be climbing a little bit every week.
Yeah, I mean, my first take is that we're you said 55% plus on middle field close, just straight up with cover 1 or cover 3. And the fact that we don't run, or we haven't even etched a percentage in cover 2 man, I like that we haven't needed that safety net. Why would we have 2 safeties over the top and have everybody man up on all the wide receivers, and they're still getting it done against us? So I'm glad that we haven't had to use that, but it is kind of cool to see that we're closing the middle of the field a lot, and I think that's props to X and Evan obviously and Bullard. But if it's X that's back there at that post, they're a lot more timid of throwing deep.
I agree, and I think that's the formula for Sunday, right? Middle field closed against Kyler Murray, make them throw to the boundary.
Yeah.
Let our boundary corners earn their check and trust our guys in the middle to get it done. I'm with it.
Definitely. We had a question here in the chat I wanted to hit on, and I'm eager to see it too here. What's Jacobs' yards per carry average? I think he's at 4.5 last time I checked. But what I'm going to do is hop in and try to find the rushing yards per the league. I want to see where he stacks up season leader wise when it comes to running the football. So yards per carry, and keep in mind you got to take into consideration attempts, right? Let's see, that's regular season. Okay, got it. So if you were to filter out the ones that are actually starting or what have you, Josh Jacobs, where did he go? I think he's at 4.5. Yeah. So he's got 90 attempts. So if you took everyone who had at least 90 attempts, or let's just say 70 attempts, yeah, it's kind of hard to filter those out here on Next Gen Stats, but it looks to me like his 4.5 yards per attempt is right around the top 10 mark. You got a lot of guys in here with 20, 30, 40 carries, right, that are ahead of him. Now, the big thing, right, if I remember correctly, was rushing yards over expected. He was having a pretty darn good season on average. Rushing yards over expected per attempt. Josh Jacobs is 16th in the league at a plus 0.7 currently is where he's sitting. The big thing for him, too, he's had, let's see, as far as speed, 13 different plays where he was clocked at more than 15 miles per hour. He hasn't cracked 20-mile-an-hour spot yet, but it looks like there's only a handful of running backs that actually has as well. So what do you guys think about that as far as his production on the ground? Obviously, he got his first touchdown last week, but 4.5 yards per carry, I think anything over 4, okay, we'll take it. You get under 4, no excuses, right? But we're so used to Aaron Jones breaking 5 yards a carry, right, that 4.5 seems a little low, doesn't it?
Yep.
I'm also really not mad about his 4.5 because half of those long 10, 15, 20-yarders got taken away because of holds. And I mean, those are just lost at this point.
I agree. And, I mean, it's funny you brought up Aaron Jones. I mean, feels like we're doing the same thing all over again. Give this guy the damn ball. Like, I don't understand it. Like, we're paying him a lot of money. We brought him in. We're all excited. And, I don't care if it's just carries. I mean, throw him swing passes. Get him involved in the pass game. The guy needs to touch the ball more, period. That's how I feel. It's not an indictment on Matt LaFleur and his offense at all. I just feel like there are times that just when we get that run game going, we seem to get away from it. And I'd like to see us lean on Josh Jacobs a little bit more.
Yeah, and that's Steno was saying that they know that he's already broken the record for longest career in most receiving yards without a receiving touchdown. So they do know that is a stat, and they are actively looking to hopefully rid him of that record.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get him a receiving touchdown.
All right, since we're talking about Josh Jacobs running the football, that good stuff. Explosives, the Packers are second in the league right now, explosive play rate. That is running plays of 10 yards or more, passing plays of 20 yards or more. They're sitting at 13%, second best in the league, only behind the Indianapolis Colts. So let's do this. Let's look at some of the explosive plays real quick from Josh Jacobs so far this year. These are all of his runs of 10 yards or more. Look at this, guys. I mean, it's pretty good little list here, right? Let's start off in Philly. Obviously, this is the 22-yarder in week 1. And you got that little A set there. You see Christian Watson at the wing. You probably see that this week. Yeah, like the guy missed
to the corner to the ground too.
Yeah, he not only rambled, but he rumbled and stumbled.
Let's see it right here. Let's see if we can pick up on Christian at the wing. Right here, you see him kind of come over and play wing. Let's see him attack that corner like Emilio was talking about. I think that's what you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
Look at him getting in there. Get on the ground, boy. Little boy. Love to see it.
That little sidestep was everything, right when he hit the hole. That was incredible.
Yeah. It's just enough to make that first line of defense miss for sure. This is supposed to be, if we can get the load up, it's a 32-yarder from Josh Jacobs. All right. I think it's a
motion,
2. Yeah.
Little orbit.
Think orbit.
Little eye candy give.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Breaking tackles, yards after contact. Key.
Yeah. My man's balling out. This is a great view right here. Again, watch the orbit, the zipper orbit, zipper orbit. Outside run, Tucker Kraft holding the point of attack. She getting out there, not really hitting anybody, but he got out there. And Josh Jacobs is down the sideline. Great run. 32 yards there on that play. So just to kind of give you an idea of some of the explosives he's hit, right? Here's a 12-yard run against the Colts. Look at that. Got the little pony package kicked in here. I think that's Jaden Reed in the backfield. Yep, fake. Man upfield. Runs a really good pad level. Really good pad level.
Yeah.
A lot of fun watching him run the football. So I think it was a great signing, me personally. Again, I'm with you, Tim. It is frustrating when you're throwing so much on first down. That last game, I think we had 6 incompletions on first downs. That was just Jordan. Listen, Jordan made his share of mistakes, and we all got a good laugh out of it. Now that we got the dub, we can kind of look back on it and laugh a little. But, man, the reality is you had him in 2nd and 10 all day long. You're playing behind schedule all day.
Yeah. And throwing on first is like it's like addictive, right? You start doing it, and then all of a sudden it's happening all the time.
Yeah.
And so is running the ball too, right? You can get addicted to the run too, and neglect your passing game. Obviously, that's not a concern I have with Matt LaFleur's offense at all. I know we're going to throw the ball. That's why I wish he would lean into the run a little bit more, especially on the early downs. Bates had a great comment in the chat here. Jacobs 5th in the league in attempts. So, he's a lot of that probably came under the 2 games with Malik Willis at the helm. But a great point nonetheless. I mean, Jacobs is getting attempts. He is getting the ball, but I'm talking more situationally. Are we giving him the ball finally on 3rd and short, or are we giving him the ball on 1st and 10 and letting him, do what we see here on tape?
Did you see that, boys? Watch this cutback. Christian Watson on the wing, right? Look at this. Oh, he's dead in the gap. There ain't nowhere. Look, like he's done, right? No, we're gone. Get off me.
Broken tackle, yards after contact, another 10 or 15 right there.
That looks just like the tutter he had on Sunday. When
it really did, yeah.
The B gap disappeared, and he created to the outside.
Yeah. Here's a 12-yard run against Indy. At Indy's 43, just right up the middle. Oh, my God. You see the jump cut? I've missed a lot of these plays, boys. I really have. I ain't going to lie. This is going to be a pretty end zone cut. Watch this. Watch this jump cut he does in the hole. This is wild. You know what? Let's geek out here a minute. Let's go half. You want to? Half speed? Let's do it. Look at this jump cut right here, Emilio. Whoop. Oh, my God.
It's funny because it's on half speed and it still looks fast.
What was that dude doing?
I don't know, dude. That was filthy, though.
Put his head
down out of his jock. That's what was happening.
All right, that's enough geeking out over film. We had to hit it, though. Had to. We got 3 minutes left. Anything else in the chat? We got anything marked in here, boys, we need to hit on? You already hit the bait stuff, so we're good there.
This is a good one here, kind of backing up Emilio's comment. Jacobs has had at least 100 yards erased by penalties.
Yeah.
Damn, is that real, Brambo?
So true.
Oh, my
So
gosh.
true.
That's crazy. I mean, think about
I would
that.
almost think it has to be the case, because that's what Steno even said in his interview, was that penalties are a problem, or have been a problem for this offense. That's an issue that needs to be corrected. It's not that, we can't go further later on into the season, playoff run, whatever, if we're still having 5 to 10, 15 penalties a game. That's an issue.
They always seem to come at the worst possible time too, right?
Right.
Like right after a huge completion, explosive play, something, or
30-yard run.
We need a conversion on 3rd down, and it's got to get shored up. We talked about this with this team last year, and I think we could look back. I believe they started to get things corrected there around the halfway point of the season. But these guys have been playing together long enough now on this offense, particularly the O-line. I mean, we've got a couple new faces in there, but, I think we need our veterans to step up and, make that a point of emphasis to play disciplined, fundamental football on that O-line. We say a lot about Josh Myers. Hey, he hasn't been the one getting flags, so
That's a good point.
Between him and Zach Tom, we saw Zach Tom with it's kind of like seeing a unicorn. You get a penalty on Zach Tom for a false start, and then you watch the tape, and the guy barely flinched, and they called it. Elton Jenkins has had a couple this year. These are guys we need to be the example for our young players. I understand, Rasheed Walker getting the occasional, false start or whatever. He's a young player still, kind of coming into his own, but I think we need, the Zach Toms and the big E's of our O-line. And Josh Myers, our center, who is a veteran at this point, need to lead by example so we don't have these these, shoot yourself in the foot kind of moments during the game, because that's seems to be the only thing holding back this this Jordan Love led offense is, getting plays called back due to penalty.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of Myers getting a lot of penalties like you're saying too, Tim.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like he's played pretty clean. Now he's throwing up on the football and missing on run blocks. Don't get me wrong, but you're right, man. Penalties.
But we're a long way away from snap the freaking ball, Josh.
Yeah.
He certainly stepped it up. So
yeah, no doubt. It's going to be hard to see this chart, but I did want to point this out. Yes, sir, Brambo, you got it. I just put that one in too.
I saw your head go down, Clayton. I had to go back and grab this one and put it up. Yeah, Seattle plus 16.5 question
We're
mark.
either going to have a really good night, we're going to have a push, or we're going to lose a lot of money. That's what's happening. All right. And I'm ready for it either way. Dontavion Wicks, I wanted to point this out. We know the hands have been an issue, and we'll wrap up here. But this chart here is showing man coverage win rate versus zone coverage win rate. Zone coverage win rate running across the bottom. I know it's a little blurry. I'll tell you where he's at, though. And then the man coverage win rate running vertically on the left. Dontavion Wicks, pretty high on that man coverage win rate, guys. So the question now becomes, what is it that they're running the most out there in Seattle, right? Or not Seattle, but Arizona. I don't have those numbers in front of me. I'm going to try to run those down and see how much man coverage they run. Actually, we do. What are we talking about? We got it right here, don't we? So how much man coverage do they run? Let's see. Cardinals. So they're 39% cover 3 zone, 19% cover 4 zone. So they don't run a whole lot of man coverage. But look at their EPA per drop back. Yeah. Like that is rough. They're what? 6th from the bottom? So 6th worst in the entire league as far as EPA per drop back in the passing game. Now that would suggest they're playing a lot of zone. So, and here's the thing, when you look at that same chart that we just pulled up.
And on top of that zone, Clay, that's 6% in cover 0 too. That's a lot on all out blitz, man. 6%. That's kind of steep.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. I'm glad you pointed that out, because that is kind of it's definitely in the top third, right, of the league. So, and again, though, when you look at Tay Wicks as far as zone coverage win rate, pretty solid too. He's somewhere around 15%. It looks like man coverage win rate though. My man's almost a 40% of the time. So, look for Tay Wicks to potentially have a bounce back week. Now, Romeo Dobbs is on here too. Jaden Reed is not on the chart for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe
he is.
Is he? Where's he at?
He's on the horizontal line on the left side. He's the second name up. He looks like he's around Cole Kmet-ish.
Right above Devontae Adams. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Tim taking it.
It's not a shot, stating a fact.
If anybody's wondering if Tim thinks we should trade for Tay Adams, there's your answer. Okay. Now, so it looks like he's having a little more success, obviously, against man coverage than zone, right, Emilio? That's the way you're reading this.
Yeah, I think that's how I'm seeing it too. A little bit better there, a little bit more struggling in the zone, which I mean, that's probably true. But we also move him around all the time, so half those are. I mean, some of that separation could be just because he's behind the line of scrimmage or something like that too.
Yeah, definitely. All right, that's going to do it. I think we covered everything. I
think there's this one guy that just had.
Wash your hands, wash your butt, man. That's it. That's
Devontae just had that to say to Tim, man. He was
got to be a top 5 drop of all time, right? Like wash your hands, wash your butt. It don't get any better than that, man. Words to live by. Anything else you guys got before we wrap up here?
Bates here in the chat. We have the 15th most false starts and the 5th most, if the resource he's looking at is correct. Seems correct. Seems like we're definitely with the holds for sure.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if that's the refs picking on us or whatever, but we all know holdings happen on every play. It's just a matter, are you getting caught and when are you getting caught? I mean, we did see a couple blatantly obvious ones, so I mean, what are you going to do? The ref's gonna have to call it when it's that obvious. But to Bates's point here, this is more evidence that we got to tighten things up here and play a little bit more discipline. I don't know if it's necessarily more fundamentally sound, because being an old lineman and getting your hands on a guy, that's part of what your fundamentals are. But we can't be getting caught with these holds. And certainly the false starts, man, they're going to happen. You're going to have a game maybe here or there, but repeatedly on a drive. I mean, we've had drives where we've had multiple false starts on the same drive, and we just end up working backwards, and that'll kill any offense. So we got to tighten things up for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Amelia, you got anything, bub? We good?
No, I'm good, man. I'm excited. We're coming in. We'll be back Saturday, right? You'll be off tomorrow.
Yeah. Tomorrow is going to be Friday Night Lights, so we'll be back Saturday. Saturday morning, I'll do a show, and I'm going to try to make it back from Knoxville Saturday evening to do an evening show as well. So I might go a little earlier on Saturday, but I'll definitely let everyone know if plans change. You got to run down to my brother's place. So, but man, I'm excited. 12 noon kickoff Central on Sunday. That's the best at Lambeau. Some rain, a little bit of rain flying over there at the not so frozen tundra.
Get the crowd pumped up, a little bit of precipitation.
It's going to be awesome. I'm excited about it. So, with that being said, thanks to everyone hanging out with us in the chat, man. Y'all were awesome. Special shout out to Josh Vallanningham gifting 10 Packer Fan Total Access memberships to lucky viewers here. Appreciate y'all. We'll make sure we get those entered into the next giveaway we should have coming up here real soon. So, with that being said, help me out here, Tim.
For those of you listening on the pod,
thank you for making us a part of your day. We don't know why you do, but we greatly appreciate it. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world. And go Pack, go.